Recently I produced my best YouTube video yet, and it seems to be causing some controversy. Although 90% of people seem to have liked the content. I guess when you see videos that pop off this much, you're bound to see some controversy. Even from some big content creators. I was really surprised that some well-known people managed to see my YouTube video. This is the most comments I've had on any video, so I would like to engage with some of the comments and answer some common occurring questions. For the first statement, let's start off with a critique. Hanji Player says, 8 to 10 reps for strength? You don't know what you're talking about. And he follows up with 8 to 10 reps will only let you get to less than 80% of your 1 rep max. Powerlifters have been training the 1 to 5 rep range for years because that raises relative strength compared to body weight and teaches the body to push heavier weight. Although I still stand on training with higher volume for strength speed than any other variation of jumping, when I train for strength speed, I go high in reps, because the only time I do really train for strength is when I have knee tendinopathy, so I can't train as intensely. Also, when I say I train within 5 to 8 reps as a 2-foot jumper, this is what my splits are actually like. But if I was training for strength, it would look something more like this. Training within 1 to 3 reps is good sometimes. Let's say if I was squatting 300 pounds and I did it twice, and the 3rd rep, I failed it, but I had another 290 pounds in me. Those are strength gains that you're missing out on, whereas if you're training more for power or for speed strength, it wouldn't matter as much because you're mainly training for that peak power output. Increase the reps to something like 5 or 6, I could get closer to failure, while also still training for power. Instead, if you train within 5 to 6 reps, you can still train for power while also getting closer to failure. If you really wanted to lean all the way into strength training though, I would argue that isometrics are king. The next comment says, I mean what BS, that you can always improve strength but not velocity. You need to be relatively stronger and lean. Which I responded saying, I never said you can't improve velocity, it's just harder to. You can only take off of a jump so fast, and it's hard on the tendons to train for velocity. But you definitely can improve, not as fast as you can increase your squat though, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong though. Which he responded saying, it's harder to improve relative strength than velocity. Stronger is a bad term, you will not jump higher in the process. For example, from 150 kilogram squat to 180 kilogram, you don't keep that relativity, but if you lose 1% body fat, you gain 1 or 2 inches of vert. I understand what he's trying to say, but I still don't think I would agree. It all depends on what angle of the spectrum you're coming from though. For example, basketball players, they only do velocity training, so for them strength training will get them more gains. Whereas someone with a 700-pound squat would benefit a lot from plyometrics. It's just all about finding that right balance of velocity training and strength/power training. Thanks for having my back though, DA Clips. One Punch Mighty says, my jumping be 1. Okay, one jump man. The next comment from a big content creator, his name is Just Jamari. Sorry fam, if you don't coach people but you want to start teaching, you need to clean out some of your details, or start coaching others beside yourself. Some of your recommendations is just off, or saying other people's stuff. Which I responded saying, I am not a coach, I just show people how I approach my training. Maybe I am off of the mark a little, but the way I train has got me to where I am today, and I will continue to improve. I've taken a lot from what I know from the greatest, the biggest being that we overcomplicate training too much. Training hard will always be my priority over the perfect routine. I watch your content though, and I appreciate your honest critiques. Maybe you will agree with my next video. Lol. Naruto commented, which one makes you jump higher? And to that I would say, definitely not your standing vertical, because it's never going to be as high as if you have a run up with velocity. And if you do a full-on velocity like running long jump, you're not going to get as high because it's going to be more of a horizontal jump. So probably somewhere in the middle is going to be like your highest vertical. Pretty much the same thing as I said before, something that will give you a good balance of velocity and power or strength to achieve the highest power output. The next comment comes from the greatest jumping coach there is, John Evans. I still can't believe that he commented on my video. I remember when I was finished work, I was walking home and I just saw the notification and I was really shocked, but I'm glad that he's supporting the video too. The next comment says, I am a no-foot jumper. Forget about my jump program. I'm trying to learn how to fly too. The next video is from my guy Stretch. We've done a couple of dunk contests together, and he says, boy, we better make a video together. We definitely will. We just have to figure out a time to do that. We still haven't done that yet, but it has to be like a dunk session or a workout. We'll do something though. I'm on the come up though. Everybody go follow him on Instagram and YouTube though. He makes great content and I watch him too. Next comment is from Stance99. If you're a 1 foot jumper, if you try 2 foot jumping, which leg should I do the block foot? If you jump off a 1 with the left. I responded saying that if he wants to jump as high as, he should use his left foot as his block foot, because that will also be your penultimate step as well, which is where you're drawing more power from. But if he needs to work on his right foot like me, I would just do both. And the next comment says, what are some good 2 foot speed jumpers I can watch? Dunk, dunk, dunk. Nice name. I might make that a shirt. I said Chris Staples because he has a really good running vertical despite his standing vertical not being that high. Because he has perfect technique, his running vertical is 12 inches higher than his standing vertical. So that just shows how good his technique is. I don't think he makes a lot of jumping content, but he's still good to look out for. Next comment says, if I'm over 25% body fat, should I just focus on cutting weight first before training for vertical? Which I responded saying yes, mainly focus on losing weight, still do jump training, it will help you lose weight while increasing your vertical. The next comment says, what would you recommend if you were good at jumping off of 1 foot and 2 feet? Which I responded saying, do it all, power, strength, and velocity training, a little bit of everything, you know? But for example, if you did want to become a better standing jumper, I would just train the same way as I would if I was going to increase my standing vertical, which would just be a lot of strength work, or speed strength I should say. I am almost through all the comments. Okay, this one says, good video, but you ain't even mentioned plyometrics, which are arguably more important than weights. And to this I would disagree. Did you know that the highest jumper in the world, Isaiah Rivera, he claims to not even do plyometrics on a regular basis? Plyos are kind of overrated, which is a video I do want to make. For example, if you're a hooper, you're pretty much always doing plyometrics and always doing velocity training. And it wears down your knees. That's why basketball players have bad knees, because they only do velocity training, never doing strength training. So sometimes you just have to go on the other end of the spectrum, work on your strength, your power, and forget about the velocity. Because if you play basketball for an hour, then do plyometrics, your knees are just going to be fried. So I would disagree with this. Not that they're not important though. Just overrated. Everybody please pray for OC's MCL. I hope a speedy recovery for you. Itoshi says, pretty much how do I increase my velocity? I'm trying to speed up my responses because this video is getting long. Which I responded saying, when I talk about speed, I'm not talking about running speed. And that I'm talking about your takeoff, pretty much from your penultimate to your takeoff. Sprinting will help with that, but it's mainly plyometrics that will help you increase your ground contact times for jumping. So there's basically 2 foot jumping for speed and power, which I'm going to respond saying kind of, but 1 foot jumping is always going to have faster ground contact times usually. He also asked if it's possible to be good at all jumping styles, which I'm going to respond saying yes. And the final question is, how do you manage to jump so high yet your squat isn't elite? There are many factors other than squatting that help you jump higher. For example, I might not be the strongest, but I can produce force pretty fast. Also, I'm very lean. As of right now, I weigh about 187 pounds. And I'm 6'3" with shoes, so that gives you a decent reference. Thank you to everyone who has been watching the content lately. I hope to hit 1,000 subscribers by the next video. And I'm out because I got a workout to hit.